Well, thank you very much, Marco. Thank you very much for this very nice introduction, and thank you for this invitation. I'm very happy to talk in Italy. I told everybody in my environment, I will go to Italy tonight, although it's by Zoom, but I feel a little bit like if I've been in Italy, if I hear you talking Italian, I can't wait till the summer, because every year, and that already for 25 years, I think, I come to the same country for my holidays, namely Italy. I go already 25 years to the same place in your beautiful country. But tonight I really want to talk to you all about ELF, of course, where you sent it me, Marco. He's one of the very active, very good board members. So thank you very much for sending him over to us. I will also talk a little bit about Europe and COVID, because yeah, we can't look around that. And I will also talk a little bit about the conference on the future of Europe, where I really hope that you all will participate massively, that all Italians will send in their ideas. But let me start, but I can't see you because I see the slideshow now. But first of all, think for yourself 2 seconds. What is liberalism for you? Very quickly, in your head, what is it for you? What is the most important thing of liberalism for you? You can share it with me. Normally we are sitting in the same place and you could tell it to me, but okay, now it's in your head. But I will tell you what it is. It is the belief in the protection of individual rights, of civil liberties, independent judiciary, democracy, free enterprise. But it's also, of course, support for free markets and encouraging economic growth, support for free trade between countries. But for me, yeah, liberalism is the best ideology to combat all the problems that we are facing right now. And that is why we, ELF, what are we? Actually, we are the political foundation of the ALDE party. And you all know him, he assists us tonight, Daniel Kadek, our director. You can't find a second one like him. Huh? He's really the best we can have. He knows everybody in Europe, I think. And what is ELF especially doing? Well, we work all over Europe to bring together ideas. I always say we bring ideas together to combat populism, to combat those, I can't say that, bastards of other parties who come with solutions that are not solutions. We come with new ideas in the political debate. We provide a platform between all the organizations. We empower citizens to make their voices heard. That's what we do with ELF, and that we do, of course, with a diverse network of foundations, think tank, and a lot of experts going on. And how do we do that? If you look at how do we do that, we give liberal answers to European questions. We are a think tank, that's ELF. We have very good advisors there. We have a vision, we have a mission, we have values, that's a think tank. And how do we do that? Well, I hope you know a lot of things that we do. We have ideas, we have the academy, we have round tables, we have a lot of things, and we come with publications, we come with events, we come with evenings like this, where we meet people, where we discuss solutions. And for who do we do that? Well, for me, it's very clear. Everybody who can help to change the world. First of all, politicians. We give them the right ideas to combat in the parliament. We empower member organizations so that they can have more members to come. We influence policymakers. Of course, we talk to journalists. That's really crucial. So that's the thing that we are doing. And if you now look at the next slide, who we are, yeah, of course, there is a component. You have Renew Europe. I hope you all know what it is. Renew Europe is the group of liberal political parties and members of the European Parliament. Within the European Parliament, I'm a member of Renew Europe. Last term, our name was ALDE. But in the beginning of the term, we changed our name because other parties also came with us. And why was it Renew Europe? For me, it was very clear. That's our mission. That's what we want as liberals. We want to renew Europe. We are really the most pro-European party in the parliament, but not Europe as it stands now. Europe, a reformed Europe, a more powerful Europe, a Europe that is there for the citizens. That's what we do in the parliament. And then we have, of course, the ALDE party. You all know ALDE party. We had a very good president, which we lost a few weeks ago, Hans van Baalen. He was really a friend of ours. He was a man with a lot of humor. He was always trying to unite all liberals. So he will be very, 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 very much missed. And then you have Elf, and Elf works together with ALDE party and with Renew Europe. We have in total, it's incredible actually, if you look at the map, we have 47 member organizations in 26 countries. And what do? We foster collaborations, of course, amongst European liberals. And there it is, ELF member organizations like you, like your organizations. ALDE Party, Renew Europe, LIMEC, the Council of Europe, ALDE in the Committee of the Regions, liberal networks, individual academics and intellectuals. And we really stimulate discussions. It's not always just like, okay, that's a problem and that's a solution, because sometimes we don't have the solution in our backpack. We need to stimulate discussion, because if you really discuss with people, you find better solutions. That's always the case. And that's what we try to find, liberal solutions to European problems, and then spreading the liberal word. That's actually what we are doing. And of course, our team of ELF, with Daniel, who is a director, we have in-house policy-oriented research on relevant issues. So for example, if you need answers on certain questions, you can always direct yourselves to Daniel. We can find your research, we can help you to do that. We have political intelligence and foresight for ELF members and partners. We bring together experts and policymakers through evenings, through debates. We will have a future European journal. We support member organizations, and we develop ties across Europe. When I heard you talking in Italian with Daniel, oh, it was such nice. And that's what we do. And we all remember, oh, then we were in Rome, then we visit that. That's actually because discussing together, drinking a beer, drinking a very good Italian wine, and then have very good ideas, and then go to bed. That's so great. Then you really feel like, yeah, we can change the world together. What do we publish? I hope you have seen some of them. Otherwise, Daniel, I have to tear your ears. I hope they all know it. The discussion papers, policy papers, research, liberal reviews, the blog post, the ELF studies, the books. If you don't see that, please call Daniel and let them send it to you, because we have a lot of ideas that you can use. And what are the areas where we are working around? It's a lot. You see them here. There is one that well, all of them are important, but I'm most always interested in foreign affairs, security, and defense. But maybe you're more interested in digitalization or environment. We all have it, actually. Name a problem, and we have a research area to help you. That's, in fact, my message. And then, what are we working now? And they're waiting for my essay, so I really have to take some time to finish it. We are now working on a liberal white book. It's a collection of essays written by experts and in consultation with liberal policymakers. And ELF will edit that and will send it over to politicians, to academia, to policymaking, civil society, and it will have recommendations across multiple sectors. And of course, if we write it now, it's not valuable in 10 years. So we will progressively update it as time goes on to reflect Europe's evolution. But that liberal white book, I really hope that you can enjoy it and that you can give, after that we send it to you, your comments on it. But it's not yet finished, but it's work for the future. It will come very soon. And then that was a little bit about ELF. If you have questions on that, Maybe we can do that first, or do I continue? No, I continue and we do the questions by the end, I think. But then now you can skip a little bit the presentation, because I want to see the people when I talk a little bit about Europe and COVID. Yeah, that talks much easier than seeing that presentation. Then I can see your smile. So put your cameras on, that I don't talk to black faces on my screen. That's so impersonal. That was Elf. Eh? If you have questions and comments on Elf, you have Marco who can answer, you have Daniel, and you have Lucia. If you have critics, it's for them. If you have flowers, you can send them to me. Eh? Let's be clear on that. That's just a joke. Eh? I hope you understand that. It was just a joke, but we're here with different people to answer your questions. Secondly, because I think that you're also a liberal think tank, you should reflect on now, where was Europe during COVID? What did Europe do? Where was it? And so that's why I wanted to take Corona as the example. I think nobody can still hear this word. We are all sick of it. And it is already more than a year that it messed up our lives. And it's starting to take a heavy toll. You all remember it was 11 March 2020, where the World Health Organization declares that the outbreak of COVID is a global pandemic. And its source, it was a market in the Chinese city of Wuhan at the end of 2019. Do you all remember that? And a few days later, one member state after the other goes into a lockdown. For me, as a liberal, it was fiction. Schools and restaurants closing. Cultural activities cancelled. We can't travel anymore. Non-essential travel, all was banned. All our social contacts were banned. We were locked down in our houses. Who would have thought this? If you would told me that 2 years ago, I would say, you're mad? That will not happen in Europe. But it happened. And for me, it was like a war scene. Eh? Our days were limited by curfews and the government deciding on how many people we could see. Children, I have 2 small children, they cannot go to school. People need to work at home. And still, I think that was one case, but there was also a shadow pandemic going on. I don't know if you felt that also that much in Italy. The domestic violence went up and doubled. Of course, if you're all obliged to stay at home in a small apartment, yeah, by the end, although you make a lot of children and a lot of sex, or you have a lot of violence. That's most of the time the case. Online child sexual abuse almost tripled. More people were exploded and poverty went up. That's the shadow pandemic that took up. And then since March last year, a lot of member states took very drastic measures to fight the virus, to keep their business up and running and to develop a vaccine. But the real question that I had every day in the beginning of the pandemic was, and I think you also had it, where is Europe? Why is Europe why does Europe do anything more? What is Europe actually doing? Because you are seeing different member states acting differently. Unfortunately, and it's not an excuse, but it's reality, health is a national competence. Europe actually has no room to take measures. Every member state is left alone to handle the pandemic. Except what can Europe do? Coordinating. Yeah. If there is something that doesn't help in a crisis, that's coordinating. That's the word by the end in the debates I was really fed up. We can coordinate. We can coordinate. Yeah, no, I need action. But before criticizing too much Europe, I just wanted to tell you a little bit, what did Europe do in the Corona crisis? At the start of the crisis, Europe started to buy essentials like gels, gloves, masks, because there was a shortage in the beginning. We were also organizing repatriations because a lot of Europeans were stuck in another country. We did green lines so that goods could pass when the borders were closed. We made a lot of money free to do the research for the vaccines. Because if you have told me last year that we would have a vaccine within 1 year, I would also not believe you. It's really quick, eh? You put a lot of money in it and we have it. Huh? Okay, we have different ones, they're criticized, but we have different vaccines already within 1 year. That's acceptable. But what went wrong? That are the good things. What went wrong? And it's not because I talk for you Italian guys for the moment. I tell it also when I talk to Germans or when I talk to Belgium. For me, the most horrible thing that I saw during the pandemic were the images that in the beginning came from Italy to Belgium when we saw people dying in your hospitals because you didn't have enough place in the hospitals, because you didn't have enough beds in the intensive care. And I felt so angry because I am a European. I'm not an Italian, but I really like Italian people. And I thought, but we have places here in the hospitals. Where is Europe? Why can't we bring them to Belgium, to Germany, to France? Why isn't there a hospital train that we can send over to Italy to cure those people? For me, that was really, really shocking. And I really said, this is not a Europe that I want to live in. If you have a pandemic, if you have countries that are hit so hard, we should be there one for another. That was not the case in the beginning. By the end, it was better. Eh? No, member states help each other. Eh? No, it's better. But in the beginning, we were all afraid. Oh, we will bring in the virus. The virus was already here. Eh? Italians couldn't bring it in. Eh? It was already here. Eh? So, but that's for me really a shocking thing. What was also shocking, that member states started closing the borders. So internal borders were closed, but the external border was open. What's the use? What's the use? I haven't seen it, eh? But that's the competence of the member states and not the competence of Europe. It's not an excuse, it's just a fact. So for me, in the beginning, there was really a lot of chaos. What did Europe do really good? I think it's the economic revival of the crisis. We create a European recovery fund. That's historic, never have been. It's 672 billion euros. And also, we finally have won the debate about the own resources. It's years and years that Guy Verhofstadt, you know Guy Verhofstadt, I hope, he's half Italian, half Belgium. He was a long time prime minister in Belgium, but if he can, he always is in Italy. His Italian is better than his English, I think. So you must know him. But he always pleads in the parliament to have own resources. Yeah, how can Europe tackle the challenges if you don't have own resources? No, we have them. The pandemic made it happen. What did we do also? Yeah, we negotiated the contracts for the vaccines. We negotiated it for all Europe, and not every member state for his own citizens. Are it good contracts? I doubt it, actually, but we have them. And they're better than if every member state would have negotiated for their own. So that's also very important. So that's a little bit to give you that a crisis really makes clear Europe did things wrong in the beginning. We did good things, we did bad things. And why did we do bad things? Because we don't have the competences. Because member states are blocking. And unfortunately, that's always the case. You know, you'd say, Hilde, come on. It's the truth. If you look at the migration crisis, we know what to do, the European Parliament and the European Commission. Where is it blocked? The member states, because some member states have populists who are elected and win by doing speeches against Europe. That's what's happening. So for me, this crisis made it more clear than ever that we need to reform Europe. That international problems need a European answer. That there is only one party, one ideology with the right answers. That are the liberals. Very clear. No, you should all smile. You all look at me, you know, you should really say, yes, it's us who has the answers. That's what we are. That's what we want. What are our proposals? well, I can talk till tomorrow if you want on that, but I will tell you the most important ones. A smaller European Commission. Honestly, how many commissioners do we have? Who can name more than 10 or 15 commissioners? Nobody. Maybe Ursula von der Leyen. She needs to know them. But in the member states, we don't know them. So a smaller commission, acting like a real government. Get rid of the unanimity rule. We see it in every debate, in every discussion, in every field. It's impossible to work with that unanimity rule. Give Europe real own resources. We now got to start. We need to develop that further. Create a real health agency with powers that can react, and not only coordination. That word I don't want to hear. Turn Europe into a real geopolitical player, a real European Defense Union. For me, it's very clear, a European army that we need. Look at what's happening now in the world. I can't name them. The Sofa Gate, you heard about that. In Turkey, you know what is happening with China. You know what Turkey is doing. Israel and Palestine, with the airplane last weekend. Where is Europe? Where is Europe? Why don't we can we make a fist and make the fight stronger? And that's why I'm very glad. I don't know how long I talk already. Okay, that's why I'm very glad that we have the conference on the future of Europe. And now I have new slides because I can give you some more about the conference on the future of Europe. Okay, I don't know if you remember when it was started. The conference on the future of Europe. What is actually the idea behind it? The idea is that citizens can have their say to renew Europe really. Europeans must play a bigger role in setting the future EU agenda. It is actually our baby. It's the liberals who really wanted that in the beginning of this term. Normally, it would have started already 1 year ago. Of course, it's not started because of the pandemic, but also because some member states didn't like the idea of a conference. They really want Europe to stay at as is. It's easy like that, not too powerful, that member states can decide everything. But it's the liberal who pushed this through. So what is it was launched the 9th of May in Strasbourg, by the way. So it's just recently launched. What is the structure and the setup? You have different areas for improvements, and there you see the topics: climate change and environment, health, stronger economy, social justice and jobs, EU in the world, very important, values and rights, rule of law, security, also digital transformation, European democracy, migration, very important topic, I think, also for you Italians, the migration, education, health, culture, youth, sport. And actually, the conference started now with a digital platform. So all of you can go, in the end of the slides, I will show you where you can go to. You can go to that. There it is. futureeurope.eu. That's your future. So in every of those fields, you can introduce your ideas, which is very important. And I really hope that you all do that, because the more liberals introduce their ideas, the more liberal the outcome will be. That's very clear. So that's why we with ELF and with you as organization, we really hope that you convince every liberal Italian to introduce their ideas. And I will do the same in Belgium, and other people need to do the same in their countries. The more liberal ideas, the more liberal the outcome will be. How will we, how are the ways to get involved? There will be events there will be European citizens panel, there will be conference plenaries, that all will be there. Huh? And actually, what is the purpose? The purpose is really to look at the challenges of the 21st century, to look for solutions. We must not be afraid of change, but embrace it instead. Use it as another opportunity to become better and stronger. That's in fact the idea. And also ELF and the ALDE party will have an important role to play. We liberals have to refine our liberal values, reinvent them, and show citizens very clear alternatives to the populists and to destructive stories. You all remember Brexit. Nobody would have thought that the country would leave Europe. Eh? Nobody would have thought that, eh? But they did. So that we should reflect on it. Eh? Honestly, I must say, if the young British people could have decided only then they would have stayed. And I'm very sure that they will re-enter Europe one moment. I don't know the date, I don't know the year, but I'm pretty convinced they will ask again to come into the club. But only if we reform Europe. And so for me, this conference is really an opportunity, a chance for citizens to play a role in the future of Europe. For me, it's very clear. It should not become a simple PR stunt. Eh? For me, the ideas that come true, I will take them with me in the parliament. Eh? I will fight for them, eh? That they come into the practice, eh? Because we must be very clear. If we don't reform Europe, Europe can become a simple memory in a national history school book. That's strange what I say now, but I mean it. Eh? The project can also die. It was a very important project after the World War, but it can die. We need to fight for it. We need to fight to change Europe. And that's why we need you, all citizens, all Europeans. And for me, it's really this moment, eh? Because we are at the cross border. It's Corona who put a lot of pressure. It's the populists in different countries. It's national leaders who take advantage of Corona to take more power than normal they can. So the liberal values are at stake. So we need to find power to fight it. For me, it's now or never. You all remember, it's already many years. The question of the US Secretary of State. Do you remember who I mean? Henry Kissinger. He said, I think it was 30 years ago, he said, who do I call if I want to call Europe? Well, actually, the answer is still lacking, eh? After so many years. Eh? Who will he call? Charles Michel? Ursula von der Leyen? Joseph Borrell? Tell me. Eh? You saw it with the Sofa Gate, with the diplomatic incidents. So it's time now to formulate a decent answer to the question of Kissinger. And more important for me, to formulate a decent answer to the questions of our citizens. That's why I really call on you, all of you in the room here, in Italy, in Rome, participate in the conference, seize the moment, help to shape Europe, help me to renew Europe, be real, convinced, liberal Europeans. Thank you very much.